Loud and clear, coach.
That's just really proud of our guys. Pretty emotional in the locker room right there after the game. We went down pretty quickly. That's a really good team. Obviously, the 16th ranked team in the country. Probably the best defense I've watched. Aggressive, talented, well coached. Offensive line, big and strong. Went down early. I gave up 2 quick scores, but we fought. And I think the whole message is our guys didn't quit. Our guys believed that they were going to win this game. They did. They felt momentum after last week, and they built off of it. And even though they went down, they continued to fight. And that's a credit to our team. Not easy, guys. And they fought until the very end, had some ups and downs, but congrats to our players. Our staff, I thought, did a great job. I thought after the first 2 scores, Tim and the defensive staff were lights out. They couldn't really move the ball against us. We got after the quarterback. We got some takeaways. Offensively, same thing. We struggled to run. It's a really good defense, but we made some huge plays. We were aggressive. We threw the ball down the field. Emmett took some shots early. He threw some picks, and he was down. Second game, threw some picks in the red zone, and with the resiliency of him to come back and lead us down at the end of the game like that says a lot about him too. And just proud of the team. Appreciate the staff. That's a really good one for us, and we got to build off of it.
All right. If you have any questions for Coach, please use the hand raise button. All right. We'll start with Trevor.
Hey, Jeff, just more about the emotion in the locker room right now. Can you describe just what it was like being in there? Any particular reactions that stood out? Just what was it like in there?
Hugs, tears, dancing, loud, a lot of hugs, a lot of guys just letting a lot out that has been built up inside off of a really, really hard year. Again, it was talked about all week. I just told them it's the number 16 team in the country going for 17 straight wins at home. Got 30 plus 6-year guys walking out. Talented team. No one thought we could win, but the one group that did was our team. And that locker room's still loud right now, and it's going to be, and it should be. They deserve it. They deserve it, and I'm really, really proud of them. And it was fun to be a part of.
Graham, go ahead.
Coach, the defense was just an absolute staple in the second half. On those last non-offensive drives from NC State, you guys forced them to punt 4 times, turn the ball over 4 times. What changed from the first drive when, Morris is dancing all over you guys, then especially after the second half?
Yeah, I felt on the first 2 drives, I mean, they're fast. Their line's fast. I thought we were a step behind them up front. I thought we were a step behind them in the front 7. And it took us a while to get adjusted, but once we did, I think we adjusted quickly as a staff, but even more importantly, the players, I mean, they picked it up. They were communicating, they were physical. We were more physical than them. Again, I think our players played harder today than they did. And it didn't look like that early, but they came back and then they finished the whole game like that. I think it's a combination of coaching, fixing some stuff schematically, and then catching up to the speed of the game, tackling, being violent, making some plays when they had opportunities, and just never giving up, believing in each other, which was awesome to see.
Rich?
Coach, just comment on Joe Griffin drawing the penalty and then scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you get a redshirt freshman to a true freshman. I think you saw the future last week, and you saw it again. Joe didn't practice much this week. Joe's been dealing with an injury. We didn't know how much he was going to play. He drew the PI, and then on that last play, I mean, the amount of times those 2 have worked on that together, it was almost like second nature. The play was called, he threw it, and I had no doubt Joe was going to catch that ball. Big moment for him early in his career. Big moment for both. You're on the road. There's 18 seconds left. Packed house, loud, and it wasn't too big for 2 freshmen. That's impressive.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it.
So obviously it means a lot to the players, but for you and your staff, after all the noise that you guys have heard as well, what does this mean to you guys too?
It's more about the players. I mean, those are the ones playing, and yeah, for the staff too. Let's be honest. I mean, these guys haven't quit. The players haven't quit on the coaches. The coaches haven't quit on the players, and I've seen both. Right? You don't hear our coaches throwing our players under the bus. You don't hear our players throwing our coaches under the bus. We're in this together, and it's been hard. And you got to fight through the storm, and that's what they did. So the coaches, I'm really proud of them too, like really proud, because it hasn't been easy. And they're there late and they're there early, And it's hard to be positive sometimes when all this stuff is going on. So they deserve this moment too. And I really appreciate all those guys.
Dan, go ahead.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Dan.
For you guys and just seeing the improvements every week in practice too, and not having those results, how much of this was getting some breaks, and also how much of this for you was just seeing the team be able to control the breaks and create the breaks that they were able to get over the hump?
I don't think it was taking breaks. I think it was taking it. Our players went out and they won the game. They did. We fought through a lot of adversity. And we had to take this. This was not given to us. And they took it. Our players did. And they could have caved it in early. That game could have gotten away because I bet you that other team thought it was going to when they went up so quickly. I mean, even at the end of the game when we couldn't move a ball and they were blitzing her, but our players, man, our players took the game from them.
Trevor?
You mentioned how Emmett was, a bit rattled at its various points in the game, and then he recovered to have a great drive, one of the best drives in, BC recent memory. Just how did he handle the adversity going through all that, and how did he regroup to lead that drive?
Well, when he threw the first pick in the red zone, he kind of came up to me and was like apologizing and telling me you can't do that. And I hugged him and smiled at him. I mean, I'm never going to yell at a guy for the guy's giving it his all. I mean, that's play the game, right? We'll have your back. We'll stop him. I told him we'll get the ball back. He did another one. I said the same thing. I just wanted him to go out and have fun and be loose. I didn't want him to get tight, and he wasn't. And that's all I kept telling him. I wasn't coaching him out there. The offensive guys were. I just was asking him how much fun he was having. And that's how you have to play this game. And he did. For him to bounce back like that, lead the team down. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't even know how many 2-minute drives he's had in practice leading the team. I mean, the guy hasn't gotten that many reps. That's a big moment for him. And I'm really proud of it. And I appreciate how hard he's worked and the time he's put in, to allow that to happen.
Graham?
Coach, Zay made history today, becoming BC's all-time receiving yards leader. What can you say about his contributions to the team today? And also another veteran, Marcus Valdez. I mean, he's practically has bionic arms, but he's showing up every single play, giving it his all. What can you say about those two?
Yeah, well, Valdez is what BC is all about. I mean, that guy, he should have 2 bionic arms on. That's how banged up he is. And he's torn something in his foot. He barely practices, but he goes out there and he gives everything he has for his teammates. And that's what it's all about. And he does it. And for the young guys to see, that's incredible. And he had some huge plays in this game, huge plays. One of the best games I've seen him play. And congrats to Zay. It's so much bigger than just football for Zay. It's the type of kid he is. It's the right choices he's made. It's how he treats people. It's how hard he practices. He deserves to have the record. He deserves all the success coming to him because it's rare when your best player, when things are all down, is still doing everything that he's done. I put him up against any wide receiver in the country right now. And to be honest, there's not another wide receiver I'd want on my team. Any wide receiver, he's the one I'm picking because I know exactly what I'm going to get every single day from him.
Rich?
Okay, well, thanks to Graham for the first part. Just comment on Zay turning that simple slant into a 35-yard catch and run.
Yeah, he's like a magician out there, Rich. I mean, he catches the ball and all of a sudden he pops out and he's running. It's every time he touches the ball, he's got a chance to score. It was a huge play that got us back in the game. And he continues to do it. He's a special one.
Dan?
Coach, I don't think we need to tell you, but it's been a while since BC's beaten a ranked opponent overall. In general, a consensus ranked opponent. On top of everything that this has meant to this team, to know that there's an impact on the program as well beyond just the, Marcus and Zay. For you, just what does that mean to be able to make that impact and break what was a pretty long streak?
Yeah, well, I'm glad that streak has ended because I've heard about it for a long time and wish we could have done it earlier. It just means it was even harder. That's one of the best teams in the country. It's one of the best teams in the ACC, and it's at their place, and they're a veteran team. So it's certainly more rewarding knowing that you came in and everything was stacked up against you and you still got it done. But again, it's not me. It's the play. Our players deserve that, and they needed it. They needed some validation that all this hard work and everything that we're preaching to them is going to pay off. And they got that tonight. And that's what makes me the most happy is I wanted this for the players. Like they need to feel moments like this. The amount of hard work they put in and the buy-in and the studying and just fighting through everything, that's validation that things are going to come out. We're going to come out of this storm okay, and we have a very bright future here.
All right, we'll take our last two, starting with Graham.
Coach, I just wanted to know what you thought about the officiating in the game. There was a sort of early pass interference call on Josh DeBerry. He got kind of stuck moving, and then a few, Elijah Jones looked like he was kind of getting picked on the end until he came down with that interception. So I just wanted to know what you thought.
Well, I think it's hard for those refs to see everything as fast as it moves, and I think they did the best that they could. I appreciate the question, Graham.
All right, we'll finish up with Trevor.
Just your thoughts on Dino Tomlin. He's obviously worked hard in practice all year and carved out more of a role, but you wouldn't win that game without him today.
No, and that's it's a good learning experience for me as a head coach. And it probably came to me a little bit too late with Dino. Dino is one of the hardest workers we have on the team. He loves to practice. He loves football. He's a great teammate. He's an incredible person. And every time we put him in, he shows up. And there's no one who works harder than him. And all I ask of these guys is two things: attitude and effort. And I should have been playing him earlier because he exemplifies all those things, and he's what we're all about. And I'm glad we got him in. I'm glad we got him playing. And I should have put him in earlier this season. But he deserves to be out there, and he will continue to be a big part of this thing. The guys just continue to make plays. He's a special kid.